Hello everyone, I hope you all are in good health. So in the previous video we discussed about the basic concept of solubility. I hope you remember the definition of solubility now. The quantity of solute dissolved in solvent resulting in a solution. Solute might be solid, liquid, gas, and solvent can be solid, liquid or gas. Today we are going to discuss some more basic concepts of solubility. So solute is getting dissolved in solvent. So something happens between solute and solvent. So that we call it as interaction. So that is why we term this as solute solvent interaction. So generally speaking, there are so many steps in which it is resulting in a solution form, the complete dissolution. So first one, the solute breaks down, meaning the intermolecular bonding is broken. Second, solvent is broken, meaning the intermolecular bonds are broken. Now, the broken solute gets into the cavity which is formed in the broken solvent. Now, there is a new bond, intermolecular bond between solute and solvent. Now, lastly, the solvent is restructured. This is what is the process stages. So this is explained in briefly 3 steps. That is solute solvent interaction. That is, holes open the solvent, number 1, first stage, and the second stage is the molecule of the solvent breaks to form the cavity. And third one is the broken solute enters into the cavity of the solvent. So these are 3 stages. So we call this as solute solvent interaction. Okay. So now we will get into previous video's continuation. So we saw that solute is getting dissolved in the solvent. Very simple. Now today we are going to discuss about the soluble and insoluble concept. Solute is dissolved in solvent which is termed as soluble, and solute does not get dissolved in the solvent is termed as insoluble. Fine. So let me show you a small demonstration. Okay. Solid, and I have a solvent. This is the solute in the form of solid, and I have solvent in the form of liquid. Fine. I hope now I am very clear with the definition. So, this I am taking a few quantity and dissolving it in the solvent. So this one we call soluble. Yes, this process is soluble. The solute is soluble. Now the second. So I have a solvent. So I am adding a solid into it. Now you can see that 2 distinct layers is formed. So this one we can tell that solute is not soluble in the solvent. But a very interesting fact is, I hope you can see that you can see my fingers getting on inside, and you can see my hands, fingers are not wet. I have dipped my fingers inside this liquid through water, but you can see that there is no single water molecule in my hand because I have used water as a solvent. So you can see this. So this is termed as insoluble. We can also tell as completely insoluble. So one is soluble, completely soluble, and the other one is completely insoluble. So we have two phenomena here. Right? But there should be something in between these two, in between the soluble and insoluble. Maybe half is soluble, less is soluble. In a layman language, little is soluble. So we can tell this little solute is solubilized in the solvent. More solute is solubilized in the solvent. Small amount of the solute is soluble in the solvent. Goes on. How will you express this? If it is completely soluble, you will term as completely soluble. If it is insoluble, you will term as completely insoluble. So what are all, how will you express some stages of solubility which happens in between this soluble and insoluble factor? Fine. So now the pharmacopoeias have expressed this phenomena as the quantity of solvent required to dissolve one part of the solvent. So they have expressed it in such way. I hope you are very clear in this. So let us go some of the soluble factors, which is some of the soluble characteristics which is in between this soluble and insoluble. Now it is termed as freely soluble, soluble, sparingly soluble, slightly soluble, very slightly soluble, and insoluble or practically insoluble. So these many are there between soluble and insoluble. So they have given how much parts of the solvent is utilized to dissolve the one part of the solute. So they are given less than 1. For example, less than 1 part of the solvent required to dissolve one part of the solute is termed as freely soluble. And if you take 1 to 10 parts of solvent to dissolve one part of the solute, then it is termed as soluble. So likewise, gradually there is an increase in the quantity of the solvent used and the solubility decreases. So inversely proportional. 30 to 100 parts of solvent is increasing, amount of solvent. 30 to 100 parts of solvent required to dissolve one part of the solute. This is termed as sparingly soluble. Right? So this goes on gradually, 100 to 1000, 1000 to 10,000 and more than 10,000. So we call that more than 10,000 parts of the solvent required to dissolve one part. For example, 10,000 ml of solvent dissolves 1 mg of solute. For example. So you can now think how much solvent is required. So this, we cannot use this much of solvent to solubilize one solute. So that is why it is termed as practically insoluble. So I hope now you have understood the solubility expressions, how the soluble and insoluble phenomena is expressed. This is called as solubility expressions. So today we have seen two concepts. One is solute solvent interaction and solubility expressions. So different pharmacopoeias expresses different expressions for the solubility. Thank you for watching this. I hope you have got an idea about these two concepts. Thank you for viewing, subscribing, commenting, sharing my channel. Take care of your health. Thank you.